Let's move in to those mechanical and electrical systems that are fire and life safety related. For fire alarm devices, circuit identification and accessibility is required. Dedicated circuits for emergency systems and equipment include all emergency systems such as lighting and fire alarm systems. A common misconception is that conduits and boxes must be read in color. The code states that wherever there is a fire alarm junction box, it shall be identified as fire alarm. Doors to rooms containing system controls shall be identified. This is not merely the sign required for accessibility on the latch side of the door. The sign must be large enough to be viewed by the responding firefighters and should be of permanent, weather-resistive design. CBC Section 902.1.2 and corresponding Fire Code Sections 509.1 and 604.3.1 require equipment room identification. Rooms containing fire protection equipment shall be identified in an approved manner. Rooms containing controls for air conditioning systems, sprinkler riser and control valves, or other fire detection, suppression, or control elements shall be identified for the use of the fire department. Approved signs required to identify fire protection equipment and equipment location shall be constructed of durable materials, permanently installed, and readily visible. Please note that when signs are proposed for fire-rated doors, these signs cannot be attached with screws, as screws will penetrate the fire-resistive element. The project inspector must verify installation and operation of required fire dampers, smoke dampers, combination fire smoke dampers, and the operation integrated with fire alarm systems. 2016 NFPA 105, Section 7.5 Acceptance Testing notes that acceptance testing of smoke dampers shall be performed by a qualified person with knowledge and understanding of the operating components of the type of assembly to be tested. Section 7.5.2 goes on by stating that before testing, a visual inspection shall be performed to identify any damage or missing parts that could create a hazard during testing or affect the operation or resetting of the component. Section 7.5.3 also notes that the acceptance testing shall include the closing of the damper by every means. If the damper is equipped with a fusible length, it is not required to activate the link by heat to test the damper. Visual inspection should be made after a fusible link has been reinstalled to ensure it will not impede the closing operation of the damper. Access panels for fire and smoke dampers shall be labeled with the words fire and/or smoke damper on the access panel. The letters shall be a minimum 1/2 inch high, as noted in CBC Section 717.4 or Mechanical Code Section 605.5. All fire dampers, smoke dampers, and combination fire smoke dampers must be installed per the manufacturer's instructions and listing. 2016 NFPA 80, Section 19.3 notes that fire dampers, after the installation of a damper is completed, an operational test shall be conducted. Following the completion of the test, a visual inspection shall be made of the assembly to ensure that no obstructions have been introduced. NFPA 80 Section 19.3.4 notes that for documentation, all inspections and testing shall be documented, indicating the location of the ceiling radiation damper, fire damper, or combination fire smoke damper. Must include the date of inspection, the name of the inspector, and any deficiencies that were discovered. The documentation shall have a space to indicate when and how deficiencies were corrected. Section 7.3.1 of NFPA Standard 105 notes that smoke dampers shall be installed within 24 inches of the partition and before any branch line or opening other than access panels, and shall be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's installation instructions and listing. NFPA 105 goes on to further note that smoke and combination fire dampers must have an operational test conducted after the building's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system has been balanced to verify and ensure proper operation. The acceptance testing must include the closing of the damper by every means. Here's a standard detail for a combination fire smoke damper. Note the location of the required access hatch at the bottom, the detector head located within the ductwork, the location of the damper and the rated wall. All inspections and testings shall be documented according to 2016 NFPA 80 requirements. Our next picture is that for the installation of the required automatic shutdown, generally achieved through installation of a duct-type smoke detector that must be installed in accordance with its listing and must be tied to the fire alarm system. It is important during installation that the inlet sampling tubes be installed in the correct orientation. This has often been found to be the reason for malfunctioning detectors or inoperative elements. Testing of smoke control systems shall be in accordance with the 2015 edition of NFPA 92. In addition to the regular inspection test requirements, smoke control systems shall undergo special inspection and tests sufficient to verify proper commissioning. Testing of smoke control systems shall be performed by a special inspector in accordance with CBC 1705.18. NFPA 92, Section 8.4.4.2 notes that if standby power has been provided for the operation of the smoke control system, the acceptance testing shall be conducted while on both normal and standby power. Cooking equipment shall not be operated while the fire extinguishing system or exhaust system is non-operational or impaired. Where fire extinguishing systems are impaired, the system must be tagged as non-compliant and the owners must be notified. Inspection of commercial kitchen hood systems must be done by qualified persons, following NFPA Standard 17 for dry chemical extinguishing systems and NFPA 17A for standard wet chemical fire extinguishing systems. Note that plans often utilize the word ANSEL for a wet chemical extinguishing system. ANSEL is a manufacturer of fire protection systems. It is not a system. There are many manufacturers, each with their own design and installation criteria. It is important to follow the manufacturer's installation, inspection, and test manual to achieve compliance. NFPA 96, Section 11.1.6.1 states, Where the fire extinguishing system or exhaust system is non-operational or impaired, the system shall be tagged as non-compliant. The system owner or the owner's representative shall be notified in writing of the impairment, and where required, the AHJ, in this case DSA, shall be notified. Here are some components of the fire extinguishing system for a commercial cooking hood. In the upper left, we see the nozzle with the protective grease cap. Then below that, the hood itself with the piping visible to the drops. The upper right, the various types of nozzles. And in the lower right, what is commonly referred to as the balloon test. The balloon test verifies that equal distribution of pressure when the system is activated occurs. NFPA 96, section 11.2.2 states that all actuation and control components, including remote pull stations, mechanical and electrical devices, detectors, and actuators, shall be tested for proper operation during inspection in accordance with the manufacturer's procedures. The tag must be signed or initialed by the installer. The fusible link shall be destroyed when removed. Where required, certificates of inspection and maintenance shall be forwarded to the AHJ, in this case DSA. Inspectors shall ensure the correct nozzle sizes are used as shown on the DSA-approved plans, specifications, and manufacturer's design and installation manual. After testing is complete, ensure that the rubber covers, the grease caps, are securely replaced over the nozzles, and that the system has been restored to service. It is important to verify that the proper temperature-rated fusible link has been provided. Here's a depiction of a traditional commercial kitchen system. We have the appliances below the Type 1 exhaust hood, the fire suppression system noted on the left and the manual pull station, the agent distribution piping throughout the hood with nozzles protecting the exhaust ductwork, the plenum area above the filters, and the appliances below.